The Britain's Got Talent stage glows under blinding white lights as the announcer calls the next act. A lone contestant steps out, wearing a costume that already raises eyebrows, too shiny, slightly mismatched, and clearly chosen with big dreams in mind. He waves enthusiastically at the crowd, flashing a confident smile that suggests he believes he's about to deliver something unforgettable. The audience responds with polite applause, mixed with curious murmurs. At the judges' table, Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, arms folded, his expression unreadable but skeptical. He has seen thousands of auditions, and within seconds, he can usually tell how this will go. The contestant introduces himself and boldly announces his act, speaking with absolute confidence. It sounds ambitious, perhaps too ambitious. Simon exhales slowly, already preparing himself. The music starts. Immediately, something feels off. The rhythm doesn't match the performer's movements, and the first few steps are awkward and poorly timed. A few audience members chuckle softly, unsure whether this is intentional. The contestant, however, remains dead serious, striking dramatic poses and moving with exaggerated confidence. Every mistake seems to make him even more determined. Simon raises an eyebrow. His fingers slowly inch closer to the red buzzer. He glances sideways at the other judges, who share knowing looks. This feels like one of those auditions that will end quickly. Yet, something strange is happening. The mistakes are piling up in such an over-the-top way that they become funny. Laughter ripples through the crowd, growing louder with every misstep. The contestant continues, completely unaware or perhaps brilliantly ignoring the reaction. He performs with unwavering belief, turning confusion into chaos. Simon watches closely now, no longer bored but intrigued. His hand hovers near the buzzer, but he hesitates. Against all odds, what started as a disaster is becoming entertainment, and SCE. As the performance continues, the confusion on stage grows louder than the music itself. The contestant spins the wrong way, misses a beat, then suddenly freezes in a dramatic pose that makes no sense at all. The audience bursts into louder laughter now, no longer trying to hold it in. What began as awkward amusement is quickly turning into full-blown entertainment. Simon Cowell straightens in his chair. This is usually the moment. His right hand moves forward, hovering directly over the red buzzer. His face tightens into that familiar expression viewers know so well, the look that signals mercy is about to end. The camera zooms in on his hand. The crowd notices and reacts with excited gasps. Everyone expects the buzz. Just as Simon prepares to press it, something completely unexpected happens. The contestant stumbles forward as if about to fall, then somehow recovers in the most ridiculous pose imaginable. He throws his arms wide, flashes an exaggerated grin, and strikes a move that looks so absurd it feels rehearsed, even though it clearly isn't. The timing is perfect by accident. The theater explodes with laughter. Simon freezes. His finger stops mid-air. For the first time, his serious expression cracks. He looks away for a second, pressing his lips together, trying to stay composed. Amanda turns toward him, laughing openly. One of the other judges covers their mouth in shock. The contestant, encouraged by the reaction, continues with even more dramatic flair. He adds over-the-top facial expressions and wildly confident gestures, completely owning the chaos. Simon pulls his hand back from the buzzer and leans into his chair, shaking his head in disbelief. He exhales a short laugh, quick, involuntary, and dangerous. The audience cheers between laughs, sensing something special is happening. This is no longer just a bad audition. It's turning into a moment. Simon watches closely now, no longer as a judge ready to stop the act, but as an audience member caught of. The contestant, sensing the laughter and energy from the audience, fully embraces the chaos. Every step, every gesture, every exaggerated expression is more ridiculous than the last. What had started as a shaky, awkward performance has now transformed into pure, unpredictable comedy. The audience is roaring, tears of laughter streaming down faces, while some are even standing to get a better view of the spectacle unfolding before them. Simon Cowell tries to maintain his usual composure. He leans back in his chair, arms crossed tightly at first. But his shoulders begin to shake subtly as he struggles to suppress the laughter building inside him. His usual stern gaze flickers between disbelief and amusement. Every misstep and accidental funny pose from the contestant chips away at his serious facade. The camera captures every moment, Simon biting his lip, tapping his fingers nervously, his eyes crinkling with a reluctant smile. The other judges are openly laughing now, some even wiping tears from their eyes. The contestant, oblivious or blissfully confident, continues his over-the-top performance, throwing in dramatic spins and exaggerated facial expressions. Each move draws bigger reactions from the crowd. The red buzzer, once a symbol of instant rejection, sits untouched. Simon glances at it occasionally but is too distracted to reach for it. The energy in the room escalates. Even backstage crew are laughing, some shaking their heads in disbelief. The contestant's failure has become a phenomenon of comedy, creating an infectious atmosphere. Simon finally lets out a loud laugh, a deep, unexpected sound that fills the theater. He leans forward, covering his face briefly with his hands, still shaking his head. By the end of scene 3, it's clear, Simon Cowell has completely lost control. What was meant to be a quick audition disaster has now become a legendary moment of unplanned hilarity. The audience's laughter is deafening, and the performer has somehow turned. By now, the contestant has fully embraced the absurdity of the moment. Every gesture, spin, and over-the-top pose is met with louder laughter from the audience. What started as a shaky audition has turned into an unintentional comedy act that no one, not even Simon, could have predicted. The crowd is on its feet, clapping, cheering, and some are even wiping tears of laughter from their eyes. It's one of those rare performances where chaos transforms into pure entertainment. At the judges' table, the scene is absolute mayhem. Amanda Holden is openly laughing, leaning forward and shaking her head as she tries to catch her breath. David Walliams is wiping tears from his eyes, barely able to speak, while the fourth judge, often the calmest, has thrown his head back in disbelief. Simon Cowell, the famously tough and critical judge, has completely lost his signature composure. He's doubled over slightly in his chair, trying to cover his wide grin with his hand. The red buzzer, once an instrument of judgment, sits untouched. Simon glances at the contestant again, and despite himself, he chuckles aloud. I was going to buzz you, he admits, pausing as the audience erupts into even more laughter, but I just couldn't. The contestant beams, fully aware that their chaotic energy has flipped the audition on its head. The audience continues clapping and cheering, and the energy in the theater is electric. Even the crew backstage can't help but laugh at the spectacle, some peeking from the curtains with amused expressions. The contestant takes a dramatic bow, soaking in the unexpected adoration. Scene 4 ends with the judges and audience completely in hysterics, Simon smiling in disbelief, and the contestant standing triumphant. What was supposed to be a failure has become a legendary, laugh-out-loud moment that everyone in the theater, and eventually the world, will remember. The contestant exits the stage to thunderous applause, the audience still laughing and cheering long after the act has ended. Cameras pan across the theater, capturing every reaction, judges doubled over, fans clapping wildly, and crew members exchanging incredulous looks. The energy in the room is electric, the kind that only comes from witnessing something completely unexpected yet unforgettable. What was meant to be a disastrous audition has transformed into a historic moment of pure entertainment. Simon Cowell, still recovering from his laughter, leans back in his chair, shaking his head. His stern demeanor has completely melted, replaced by a mix of disbelief and amusement. I've seen thousands of acts, he says, chuckling, but I've never seen anything like that. Amanda Holden and David Walliams nod vigorously, laughing as they relive their favorite moments. The contestant, smiling from ear to ear, waves to the audience, clearly enjoying the attention and adoration. Within minutes, clips of Simon almost pressing the buzzer, but bursting into uncontrollable laughter instead, start spreading across social media. Memes, short videos, and GIFs of his priceless reactions go viral, garnering millions of views and shares. Fans worldwide are calling it one of the funniest moments in Britain's Got Talent history. News outlets and entertainment channels cover the story, highlighting how an accidental performance captured the hearts of viewers everywhere. Backstage, the contestant is interviewed, still giddy from the experience. "I just wanted to have fun," they say, and it seems everyone enjoyed the chaos as much as I did. The judges smile, acknowledging that sometimes, the most memorable performances aren't perfect, they're unpredictable. Scene 5 closes with the contestant walking off the stage as a legend, Simon still laughing quietly to himself, and the audience buzzing. The moment is immortalized, a single audition that proves laughter can be just as